The murky waters of Dagobah had swallowed more than just Luke Skywalker's X-Wing that day. They had swallowed his hope, his confidence, and perhaps a significant part of his budding faith in the Force. Exhausted, defeated, and soaked to the bone, Luke stood at the edge of the swamp, staring at the half-submerged starfighter. He'd tried, he'd concentrated, he'd even for a moment truly believed. But the sheer, unyielding weight of the ship, the impossible scale of the task, had crushed his resolve. It was too big. It was too heavy. It was impossible. His small, green, ancient master, Yoda, watched him with eyes that held the wisdom of centuries. Yoda had just witnessed Luke's frustrated, sputtering attempts to lift the massive vessel using the Force, only for it to slide back into the swamp with a dispiriting splash. And now, seeing Luke's utter surrender, his declaration of defeat, Yoda knew it was time for a different kind of lesson, not just in technique, but in belief. Luke, exasperated, turned to his master. "You want the impossible," he declared, his voice a mix of weariness and indignation. "I can't. It's too big." He gestured wildly at the starfighter, which seemed to mock him with its immense bulk. For Luke, the X-Wing was an insurmountable obstacle, a tangible symbol of his limitations, a defiant monument to what the Force simply couldn't do. Yoda, ever patient but also firm, met Luke's gaze. "Size matters not," he replied, his voice a quiet rumble. "Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you? And well, you should not. For my ally is the Force, and a powerful ally it is." He continued, the words a gentle but firm rebuke to Luke's lack of faith. "Life creates it, makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter." He pinched Luke's arm lightly, emphasizing the point. Then came the core of the teaching, the pivot of the moment that would reverberate through Luke's destiny. You must unlearn what you have learned. Pause and reflect on that for a moment. Unlearn what you have learned. It wasn't just about forgetting a specific technique or a battle strategy. It was about dismantling the very framework of his understanding, the perceived boundaries of reality that his earthbound physical world had instilled in him. Luke's limits weren't inherent to the Force. They were products of his own mind, his own experiences, his own doubt. He had learned to think within a box, and Yoda was about to show him there was no box at all. There was a quiet shift in the air. Yoda turned back to the X-Wing. Luke watched, skeptical, curious, and perhaps a little fearful of what he might witness. Yoda closed his eyes, his small frame radiating a concentrated stillness. There was no struggle, no grunting, no visible strain, just a deep, profound focus. And then it began. Slowly, impossibly, the nose of the X-Wing began to rise from the dark water. Then the wings, dripping with swamp algae, emerged into the dim light of Dagobah. It ascended further, hovering perfectly level in the air, a colossal testament to an invisible power. It didn't wobble, it didn't shake. It simply floated there, effortlessly, as if gravity itself had ceased to exist for that moment, or perhaps was merely a suggestion to be politely disregarded. The very air around it seemed to hum with an unseen energy. Luke's eyes were wide, fixed on the impossible sight. His jaw had dropped. He was speechless, not merely impressed, but truly dumbfounded. The sheer, breathtaking ease with which Yoda accomplished what Luke had deemed utterly, completely out of reach, shattered his worldview. It wasn't just a powerful demonstration, it was a cosmic mic drop. Yoda, still serene, still focused, guided the X-Wing gently through the air, bringing it to rest softly on the dry ground beside the pond. It settled with the quiet thud of an ordinary landing. Luke could only stare, a profound shift occurring within him. This wasn't just magic, it was a fundamental truth presented with undeniable clarity. The Force wasn't some minor skill to be practiced. It was an omnipresent, boundless energy, limited only by one's own faith, one's own belief, one's own capacity to truly let go of what they thought they knew. Yoda opened his eyes, turning back to Luke, a knowing look on his face. "I don't believe it," Luke stammered, still reeling. Yoda's response was swift, cutting to the heart of the matter. "That is why you fail." This moment on Dagobah wasn't just about a starfighter. It was a universal lesson applicable far beyond the swamps of a galaxy far, far away. How often do we, in our own lives, encounter what we perceive as our X-wings? The career change that seems too daunting, the personal challenge that feels insurmountable, the dream that appears utterly impossible. We look at its size, its weight, its perceived difficulty, and we declare, "I can't. It's too big. It's impossible." And in that declaration, we limit ourselves. We build walls around our potential with our own doubts. Yoda's lesson reminds us that the true limitations are rarely external. They are, more often than not, self-imposed. They are the cumulative beliefs and assumptions we've absorbed, the lessons we've learned from a world that often tells us to be realistic, to stay within bounds, to accept what is. But what if those bounds are not real? What if reality itself is far more malleable than we've been led to believe? The Force, in this context, becomes a powerful metaphor for our own inner reserves, our resilience, our creativity, our spiritual connection, our potential. When we believe deeply, when we unlearn the skepticism and self-doubt, when we truly trust in our capabilities and the unseen currents of possibility, we too can achieve what once seemed impossible. So, as you reflect on this iconic scene, consider, what are the X-wings in your own life that you've deemed too heavy, too big, too impossible to lift? What beliefs have you learned that might be holding you back? Perhaps, like Luke, it's time to truly unlearn them, to challenge your own assumptions about what's possible, to trust in the unseen, to cultivate unshakable faith in your own potential. Because often, the only thing truly binding us is our own lack of belief. If this story resonated with you, if it sparked a thought or a new perspective, we'd love to hear about it. Share your reflections in the comments below, or simply take a moment to consider what your own X-wing might be. If you enjoyed this journey into the wisdom of the Force, please like this video, subscribe for more thoughtful explorations, and share it with someone who might need a reminder that their limits are more often self-imposed. Until next time, may you find the strength to unlearn what holds you back.